What is up, YouTube? And welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! House. Guys, today I took down Local's first place Undefeated with none other than Spright. Yes, this deck got a slap on the wrist on the ban list, and it's just as powerful as ever. So let's go ahead and hop in. I run 3 copies of Spright Blue, your Monster Searcher, 3 copies of Spright Jet, your Spell and Trap Searcher, 2 copies of Spright Red, and 2 copies of Spright Carrot. I know this is a little bit different than what people are used to, but I felt like now that starter is at 2, it is a necessary evil to have to bump up Red and Carrot. You want to be able to play around things like Nibiru and Imperm, especially going into a format where we're not sure the kind of hand traps we're going to be seeing. Now, I do play a pretty sizable Aqua package. I play 3 Swat Frog, 1 Dupe Frog, and 1 TESTUDO ERAT NUMEN. These cards are absolutely insane. Dupe Frog being able to block any monster, while TESTUDO ERAT NUMEN is on field, just locks down everything. A 2000 body, them not being able to special summon anything with 1800 or more attack, just really locks down the game. And you have complete access to this card with Swat Frog's effect, and then you can special summon Dupe Frog off of Totally Awesome. For a normal summon package, I do run 3 copies of Nimble Beaver and 2 copies of Nimble Angler. I think as long as Spright Sprint is a card, these will be pretty much staple in any sort of Spright deck. Two copies of Dark Beckoning Beast, a single copy of Opening of the Spirit Gates to go along with that, and 3 copies of Time Tearing Morganite. This card was absolutely absurd. Being able to add a layer of follow-up for this deck is what Morganite provides. That drought, while it isn't the same kind of follow-up that Elf used to provide, it is super huge in getting you back into the game. And with that, you get 2 normal summons, so why not take advantage of one of the best normal summon packages that Spright has available to it in the Dark Beckoning Beast engine. Three copies of Pot of Prosperity, 2 copies of Spright Starter, and 1 copy of Spright Smashers. I think this is fairly standard. You really need this in this deck. Unfortunately, I know the card is a bit pricey, but with Time Tearing Morganite, you really want to dig for it and dig for your newly 2 of Spright Starter. And then some generic spells. Since I'm not able to run too many hand traps because of Morganite's restriction, I think these are very, very good into this format. 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent, and being able to toggle into that with Thrust and even Time Tearing Morganite. And then of course, Call by the Grave, a absolute staple. Being able to stop insane cards like Drolin Lockbird, Dimension Shifter is so important. Three copies of Imperm. Any deck taking advantage of Morganite is going to want to play this, and a single copy of Spright Double Cross as the only other trap that I play in the deck. This is mandatory to be able to special summon TESTUDO ERAT NUMEN from the graveyard once you dump it off of Swat Frog. Now, that is a clean 40 card deck. Now into that extra deck. IP Masquerena, a very, very good end board. Ripper Duckus, also you'll see him on your end board. He's really here for that Totally Awesome line. Spright Sprint is another monster you usually go into. Spright Sprint dumps Nimble Angler to be able to get 2 Beavers. And then some IP targets, Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax, and Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Nightmare Phoenix pops spells and traps. Nightmare Unicorn can get rid of pesky monsters like Mirror Jade. Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax is huge in a simplified game state. And Underworld Goddess of the Closed World is necessary since because of Morganite, we really can't play Pixies. So we need a way to monsters that are unaffected by card effects. Now, our XYZ package, I decided to play 2 Gigantic Spright. I think that's mandatory, to be honest. 1 Onibimaru Soul Sweeper, very good for going second. Mannequin Cat was honestly here for Dimension Shifter, and I'm glad I played it. Totally awesome. Ninja Shadow Mosquito, Downer Magician, and Zeus. This you could call a Zeus package, but Ninja Shadow Mosquito is just so strong on its own. That is our extra deck. Now getting into our side deck. 3 copies of Kurikara Divine Carnate. Kashtira got a slap on the wrist, so in my opinion, this is a mandatory 3 of in this format. 2 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. Again, I can't really play hand trap, so I wanted to have some very powerful monsters that I could take advantage of. Under Morganite, and a copy of Dino Wrestler Pankratops. This card, didn't really get to see it, but it's absolutely insane. 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet, some more help going second. 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. I think this is still mandatory. Again, Runic still having access to 2 Fountain is just too good. 2 Lightning Storm for back row decks. Newly 2 of. Sadly, this card is now 2. 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. Of course, the same reason. Back row decks, and I actually didn't get to even side this card in. I won every single game I played today. Game 1 and then game 2 going second, I always blew them out. So I was actually never able to throw this card in going first. So I can't really speak to it, but other than that, the side deck was absolutely beautiful. And guys, yep, that is the deck profile for today. Make sure to comment down below. I really want to hear how you guys are playing Spright nowadays. I think it's really important to share information, and that's why I'm bringing you guys my first place undefeated deck list. Thank you guys so much for checking back in with Yu-Gi-Oh! House, and peace.